Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Today, let's talk about how to survive the holidays. So get cozy, grab a hot beverage or a cool beverage, whatever you feel like, and let's chat about this. So this is coming out right around the Christmas season or the December, right? And things I share today don't necessarily have to go with this holiday season. It can go for any time that you're gathering with friends, family, any time that you're kind of getting out of your normal routine. So it can be summer break, it can be all those things, or other, like I said, Thanksgiving, like so many different holidays that we can gather together. So this can be a reminder for any time of year that we gather with family and friends. As I record this, we're literally just gearing up to the holiday season, and I was reminded of how important it is for me to set boundaries with myself, my time and energy, and with family and friends, because it can get a lot. Just a lot. It can be a lot, like all over the place. You can feel like you're going all over the place. And I was reminded today of how important it is to stand firm in my boundaries. Because I know how much I can get so excited about this time of year that I can get lost in all the fun. And then I find myself drained, burnt out, and just downright exhausted where I don't really get to enjoy myself. Now, I am talking about the Christmas season. However, I have also had this happen over summer break because I just get in the go, go, go of things. So like I said before, this can happen and be used. All these tips and tricks that I'm going to talk about can be used for any time that we get out of our normal routine. And when we mix in other people into our schedules more, and our schedules just seem to be more packed than normal. And like I said before, for me, it was realizing boundaries. Now, for this time of year, or any time that I find myself getting out of my schedule, I always have to remind myself, what are my non-negotiables? Like, what am I showing up for every day, regardless of what else is happening? So if somebody asks, hey, do you want to go do this? I have to look at my calendar and like, okay, where are these things fitting in? And will I be giving them up to say yes to this thing? So, for example, my non-negotiables are things that I'm doing regardless of what else is going on this season is making sure I get a good night's sleep. That means setting a bedtime routine and following it. Now, that can be easier said than done sometimes, and I'll get into that in a minute. So it's sleep. It is moving my body. So I am making sure that Monday to Friday, I am practicing yoga in the morning, and it's also followed by meditation. And then I'm also adding in other movement throughout the week. So weightlifting, and I'm trying more to get in walks and things like that. The weather hasn't been as nice for those kind of things. Rebounding, just body movement in general. But no matter what happens in my day, I am meeting myself on the mat in the morning, followed by meditation. And then the other thing that I'm really, really mindful of this season, more so than I've ever been before, other than maybe when I was on diets, is what I'm eating. And it's not a place of, I must look good. It's from a place of, I must feel good. Because I want to feel good this season. So it's being mindful and just aware and setting an intention. How do you want to feel over the next week, 2-3 weeks? How do you want to feel at the end of it? And for me, I know that sugar affects my energy and the way my body feels. So it's being really mindful of how I'm nourishing my body. I even have a sticker in my planner. Food is fuel. It's reminding me that I'm eating to keep fueling my body in a loving way. And that doesn't mean I won't treat myself on occasion, but it has to be very rare occasions now for me personally. Now, these might not be yours, but they're mine and I'm sharing them with you. Because it's really important to get clear on what you need to get yourself through this holiday season, whichever holiday it might be. And it's really getting clear on that. Because, oh man, there's been Christmases that I think last Christmas actually, we slept till like 11, our whole family. We were burnt out before Christmas even happened. So I put that in my little data bank, my memory brain. And I was like, okay, I need to make sure that we have a more chill schedule next year. It's like, okay, learn from this and move forward. So what I said is I've been trying to add more walking and more movement, but it doesn't always happen, right? So this isn't about beating yourself up. This isn't about, being perfect. It's about progress. You don't have to perfect a daily routine. And when I say non-negotiable, it doesn't mean if you don't do it one day, like maybe you don't feel good. Maybe your kid doesn't feel good. Like something happens. It's not about being, I wasn't perfect, so I just can't do it anymore. It's about like, okay, that happened today. Let's see if I can do differently tomorrow. It's not about, because and I've done this. I say this with so much love because I've done that. I have a plan. And if it doesn't go 100% right, if it doesn't go perfect, then I'm like, oh, well. And then I throw the whole plan out the window. Instead, now what I do is I have a plan. And if that plan doesn't go according to plan, because it doesn't sometimes, because that's life, it throws us, curveballs, little things here and there. It's not about throwing it out the window then. It's about like, okay, where can I readjust? How do I reset this? Maybe it's a mental reset. Like, okay, that happened yesterday. That's cool. That was yesterday. That's in the past. How can I change it so I can move into the future with love? So it's really, again, get clear on what you need over the holiday season. What do you need to feel good? And we all need different things. I need to personally balance me time with social time. I love being social. I love events and hanging out with people, social drinking. I love all that stuff. However, if I do too much of it, I got not enough of me left to enjoy Christmas morning or whatever else it is I'm going to be enjoying. I'll just be in bed, starfish pose, because I'm so exhausted. So it's being really mindful of what your needs are. And then I'm going to walk you through a few other steps you can do to really embrace this time of year with love, because that's really what it's about. It's, we're talking about Christmas here for a second, or the holiday season, whichever holiday you celebrate. And it's peace, love, and joy, right? But do we always feel peace, love, and joy? I know I haven't. And that's, again, why I'm showing up. I actually never had planned this podcast episode. All my episodes were done for the year. And then I'm like, wait a second. If I'm having these feelings around the holiday season, if I'm like, whoa, wait a second, Jody, like, what's going on here? I figured it was time to jump on and record one more episode for this year because I feel like it's relevant. So hopefully you find some, inspiration and support in this episode. So a big one is your environment. And I am really, really mindful of my environment because I can't stand clutter. When our house gets cluttery, like the kids drop things on the table and, over a week, we clean up every week. We make sure we declutter our living space, like because the living room gets really lived in. And it's like, okay, some stuff came home from school and things. It's like, okay, let's clean this up. Because I'm not always aware of it, but as the clutter builds, so does my, not so much anxiety, but like, okay, anxiety and stress, and just, I don't feel as centered because my space is so cluttered. You know, there are sayings like a cluttered space, a cluttered mind, like that they go hand in hand. Now, that doesn't mean that people can't thrive in clutter. People can. I personally can't. I really need my environment nice and neat. So it's creating a calming space where you can recharge, removing work-related items from sight during your downtime. For me, I work from home, so I do need to have those boundaries. And like I mentioned before, a clutter-free environment can help clear your mind. So it's just feeling like awe and peace. Like right now, our dining room is full of Christmas bins and things as we decorate. I didn't get it all done on the weekend, and then this week has been jam-packed with work that I'm trying to get done before the end of the year. So I'm not feeling as centered, and I can feel it in my being. And I told my husband, I'm like, I need to get this out of here this weekend so we can feel that peace again. So it's really, just being mindful of how do you feel when your environment is, cluttered. Just being mindful, not judging. I never walk into somebody's house and go, oh boy. It's not about judgment here. It's about what are you feeling? Just tap into how you're feeling. And if it doesn't bother you, then don't let it bother you, And then another one is setting boundaries. And I've talked about this before, like just mentioned it with my own boundaries. It's learning to say no. It's essential for your well-being. Don't hesitate to decline invitations or commitments that will stretch you too thin. I've had this personally where I'm like, okay, where am I supposed to fit this in? Well, it's like if I fit this in, I need to say no to something else. I have been coming really, really clear on my boundaries. Working from home, being my own boss, there is a lot of boundaries I need to set between work and home. My kids too, like it's just, and friends and family, it's all these things. And actually one of the best things I've done for boundary setting, because I find myself looking at my phone when I'm trying to work, is the focus mode on my phone. It's an app, a well-being app, a digital well-being app. And I started using it a while ago, probably over a year now. It even turns my phone into black and white at bedtime. So it's like, oh, right, shouldn't be on my phone. Or not shouldn't be on my phone, but like it's time to put it away and just relax. Just a little mental reminder. And recently, I didn't have my texts on that because you can pick which apps you want to have off at certain times. Like you have all the control over when and all that. And if you really want to check something, you can do breaks and stuff like that. Anyway, I didn't have texts blocked off because that's how my husband and I communicate during the day. And then one time I realized that I was like texting my mom, and I like spent an hour of my day text messaging people while I was scheduled to be working. And then I'm like, I need to stop. So I've put my text messages also on focus mode now. And then my husband and I communicate via Slack. So if we need to communicate, and he knows that I'm working, so he only communicates and touches base when he really needs something, or if we're talking about work, because he helps edit and things. And then if he does want to just text me, he texts me and knows that I'll look at it when I have time. So it's there, but like it's not there. Because have you been there where you see a text and you're like, oh, I must see it. Like you want to see it. And then you feel like replying back, or even worse. Maybe you're like me and you reply back to your texts in your head. You don't actually type it out. You just reply back. And then you don't actually physically reply back to that person for like days. That's me. So anyways, I block it off. The other thing I've started to do is I have a smartwatch and it has an alarm on it. I don't actually use it for sleeping. I take my watch off because I don't need my watch to tell me how well I've slept. I usually know. And it actually causes more problems with me sleeping. I don't like it on my wrist and things like that. However, I use it now to remind me 10 minutes before I want to take a break for lunch and 10 minutes to wrap up before the end of my work day. And then I'll be using it any other times I need a little gentle reminder of the time. This way I'm not hearing like noises and things like that, but it's a little vibration on my wrist to remind me, oh, Jody, it's time to check the time and shift and things like that. I can also use it for movement reminders, but I do usually get up less than every hour anyways to stretch my legs. So I don't usually need that reminder. But it's nice to remind myself to eat because I do forget to do that. So it's boundary setting. What do you need? You know, keeping those boundaries, the work, family, fun, like all those things. What do you need to help? Technology can be overwhelming at times, but at the same time, we can use it for our benefit. So I got a little off on like what tools I use. But the thing is, it is important to say no to things if your schedule is too full, or, you know, rearrange things and let something go. And another one, and I've mentioned this briefly already, just in general, is practicing mindfulness. And it's just being mindful of your actions, your schedule, everything like that. And a really good way to start this is engaging in mindful exercises, such as meditation or deep breathing. These practices can help you stay grounded and focused on the present moment. And the more you practice this daily, the more that you just become more mindful of other things in your life. Like eating quickly. Like maybe you just devoured your whole lunch and you even think about what it tasted like, or did I even chew that? What was it? What did I even eat? And it's just slowing down. So the more you practice mindfulness daily, the more it just becomes a daily habit. And then you just become more mindful of where you're putting your energy, your time. Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling, at peace? Are you meditating? You're just thinking about your whole day. It's like, whoa, something needs to shift, right? So it's not, again, about judgment here or blame or shame or any of that. It's about being mindful and aware of what you're feeling, what's going on, and what do you need. If you're not mindful of what's going on, you don't know what you need or how to help yourself with it, right? Another huge thing, and I've been really, really good at this recently over the holiday season and between working and things like this, is planning downtime. So even though I'm working on some really cool stuff behind the scenes right now, and I have been working way longer hours, I still plan downtime. I plan downtime with my kids so I can have some touch points with them throughout the day. In the morning, at supper, as a family, we usually eat supper together. We don't always, but most of the time we do. I have a feeling that won't be the case forever, but right now we can do that, and that's one of our downtimes together. And then usually afterwards too, we have some really cool things we do, like play a game, or even we'll just watch a Christmas movie, or just a movie, a TV show, or anything in general, or we'll just chat and have some tea after supper. So it's just one of those things. But for you and then yes, I also schedule downtime for myself. So once everybody's gone to bed, that's my downtime. And on occasion, when I'm having really long days and I'm feeling a little stressed, I'll take like a 5-10 minute break. Like honestly, before I did this episode today, I found myself laying face down on the couch because I've been pulling longer hours than I'm used to, staring at a computer screen. My eyes hurt. And I was like, it was check-in time with my husband anyways, before he was getting the kids from school. And I was like, my eyes hurt. So I just took 5 minutes on the couch and just laid there. And then eventually, once I could open my eyes, I, stared at my beautiful cat laying on the couch, and then outside, and just focused on other things and just took a little downtime. But anyway, so scheduling time for yourself amongst all the holiday chaos. So whether it's reading a book, taking a walk, or enjoying a quiet quiet cup of tea, it's really important to make space for relaxation. Like I said before, I can get carried away on the go going. And this year I've been really, really mindful and aware of where all my time is and energy is going, because I know how I felt at the end of last year. Now there was multiple layers of things going on last year. Like I ate too much sugar, and with the candida overgrowth in my gut, like I'm managing it. But anyway, so long story short, I know what I need this year, and I'm better at making sure that I'm giving myself that. I hope that makes sense. So it's figuring out, what do you need during your downtime? For me, I love just watching a holiday, like a Christmas movie. I love Hallmark. So I'll watch a Hallmark movie and just chill. Sometimes I'll watch a whole one. Sometimes I'll just watch half of it and watch the other half the next night. It really depends on how much time I have. I also like reading in bed before I go to sleep. So it warms up the bed before falling asleep. Anyway, silly little things that I do. Well, maybe not silly, but things I do. Simple little things I do. Another one, and this is one that I actually have been not on for 2 years, I think now, is another step is, or thing you can do, is limit social media. Social media can create unrealistic expectations. So it's really important to take breaks from platforms that cause you stress and remind you what's lacking in your life, right? Have you ever found it where you're scrolling and you're like, oh, I should do that, or oh, I wish this, or, we can get caught up in the what ifs, or I wish this, or, the grass always looks greener on the other side. But truth be told, your grass is probably just as green. It just, when we compare, and, it's just easy to get lost in that comparison. So if you're finding yourself on social media a lot, take a break. Maybe at night, that's like your downtime. Put the phone away. Get that focus app on your phone and just don't even let social media in. There's so many things out there now that can help you limit your social media time. So if you're finding that being a stressful part and time in your life, like it's just causing you stress, take some time away from it. Remember what I said before? Mindfulness. This is a really important thing. Be mindful of how you feel when you're on social media. That is also true for what you watch. So I'll be honest, I don't love murder shows. I love the mystery behind them. However, they can be bloody and gory. And I've been watching more, and I was like, ooh, this is not a good way for me to end my night. So then I turned to Hallmark movies again. So it's just being mindful. How do you feel? How are you feeling while watching it? That's all. All you have to do is ask yourself. There's no judgment. Just how do you feel? That's really the biggest, best question to ask yourself anytime throughout the holiday season and busyness and the chaos and everything is, how am I feeling? Answer that question, and that will help you determine what you need next. And a huge one, and I've already mentioned it, is staying active. Physical activity is a great stress reliever. I've been very mindful of how I've been showing up these past few weeks because my schedule is so jam-packed. And there's mornings where I'm like, I have such a busy day. I should just skip my yoga practice and my workout and just get to work because I have so much to do. However, I know how that's going to play out, and I'm going to just be stressed out and angry and frustrated more than if I show up and work out first. So it's finding ways to incorporate movement throughout your day. So maybe you don't love working out per se. Go for a walk instead. Dance, or just simply do a little bit of stretching. It's really up to you, and it's about I always say move your body in a loving way. It's not about like beating yourself up, like torturing yourself with a workout. I just know that when I move my body, I feel better. If I don't move my body enough, when I come to my PMSing, like my period time, my moon cycle, my PMS is off the charts. Like, I am a villain of my own life. Like, it is horrifying. However, if I am very mindful of my movement and taking time for me to be active, then I'm less reactive when I'm all moody, because I'm less moody. Because, like I said, it really is a stress reliever. So even though your schedule could be jam-packed, try to find some time to move your body in a loving way. And actually, what we did one day, we didn't have a lot of time on a weekend, but we decided to play, I think it was 2 songs. And we just had like a little party, dance party in our living room. We used to do these all the time for like half an hour. But this time we just had enough time where each kid got to choose a song and we danced to it. And it was so fun. It was just, about 10 minutes or less of dancing. And you can incorporate it with so many other people. So anyways, for us, it was just our family. But you can make it fun and include others as well. So it's really good. And then another one that's really important to remember this time of year, and just anytime life feels frustrated and overwhelming, is reaching out for support. Don't hesitate to talk about your feelings. Share your thoughts and experience with friends and family. Just sharing that can take that pressure off you. You're carrying it around on your shoulders or your back. And just sharing, and just opening up. Sometimes I'll have something where it's bothering me. And if I don't get it out, like I just keep carrying it around. But the moment I just share it, I don't fix anything. I don't do anything else but share it. It already feels like a weight has been lifted. Then other times, like I do need deeper support. But just sharing things really opens up, a chance to like let some stuff go. And then also they can help you sometimes too, depending on, what's going on. You're not on this journey alone. So please remember that. Another thing to really remember too when things, are going chaotic is focusing on gratitude. Take time each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. This practice can shift your mindset and help you appreciate the small joys of the season. So here's the thing. Today I was feeling really frustrated. I'm working on something that just doesn't seem to be working properly. And I was a little frustrated. So I'm like, I'm going to get up. I'm going to walk around. And then I sat back down. And before I got back to it, I was just like, I'm incredibly grateful. Like I just focused on what I'm grateful for. And I thought about my kids and the fact that my husband, is able to take them after so I can work longer, so I can wrap things up before I take some time off to be with my family over the holiday season. So and the more you practice gratitude, just like mindfulness, it's one of those tools that just kind of like you find yourself spiraling out and then you're like, wait a second. Let's, focus on gratitude or appreciation right now. So the more you do something, the more it just becomes like a reaction. Like, how we can get triggered with things. Something happens in our life and we're like, well, it can be the same for positive habits. Something can happen and instead of like getting angry and frustrated, you'd be like, okay, how can I look at this differently? So it can happen the more you do it. So just keep that in mind as you go along your self-love journey. Practice makes better. And when you do better, like they just become a part of your life. Another one is simplify celebrations. Now this one I have a love-hate relationship with because I definitely, I go a lot. I go all in the holiday season. It doesn't matter what holiday it is. I love celebrating. I love themes. I love dressing up. I am, the spirit, like team spirit where you're like, woohoo, spirit days. That is me in a nutshell. I love it. We actually just had a neighborhood campfire the other weekend, and we came in all decked out in our Christmas gear, Christmas shirts, Christmas lights, Christmas hats, you name it. We were there. We had our bells on, and we were, glowing and bright. That's just who we are. We're that family that shows up decked out for the holiday season, regardless. Like, so if it's Canada Day, we're decked out for Canada Day. Like, it doesn't matter what holiday it is, we're decked out. St. Patrick's Day, all green. Like, we're drinking the green drinks. Like, it is happening. Anyway, so this one is a challenge for me, but it goes back to also saying no to other things. Okay? So let me go deeper into the simplifying your celebrations, and then I'll explain a little bit more. Rather than, striving for perfection, embrace simplicity. So focusing on meaningful traditions that bring you joy rather than trying to do it all. Like I said, I like to do it all as I giggle because that's the truth. However, over the years, what I try to do is not focus on perfection. I focus on just showing up the best I can. Especially over the last few years where I've been, dealing with some, fatigue and brain fog and stuff. It's really had me look at simplifying things and not being perfect. What does our Christmas Day look like? Well, whatever it looks like, So it's trying to let go of perfection. And like I said, this can be a hard one for me too. And then the other one is to not try and do it all. I'm going to be honest here. I think we have 5 advent calendars in our house, possibly more. Can't remember how many the kids said they have. We have lots of countdown calendars. Thankfully now my kids are old enough that they do a lot of it. So if it comes to that and you still want to do a lot, include others in the planning and the doing. So it's asking for help to do these things. And so even though I want to do lots around the holiday season, I have decided that I want to do a lot of it, but I don't have to personally do it all. So it's incorporating my kids and my husband into it. So it's really cool. I also this year have done a lot of my shopping a long time ago. So then I can just focus on work, my kids, and the joy of the holiday season. And then this way I don't have to be thinking about things. So anyway, you got to figure out what works for you. But sometimes just simplifying things is so good. You don't have to do a lot. There's times where I think about things that I'm doing. I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is going to be enough. And then my kids go crazy and they love it. And it's simplifying it. I've also done this with our meals. So I have some picky eater. Well, one picky-ish eater. They used to eat so good, but then they had some food sensitivities. And anyway, it's harder to find foods. But we've been digging soup. So I have a list of different soups that we've tried and that they like, that everybody likes. So 4 of us, it's a win, huge win. 100% people love it. Awesome. So I write that down. And then, so one meal a week is going to be soup now. It just rotates. So I meal plan. So it's just something like that. Simplifying. Don't overcomplicate. Don't overdo things if you don't need to. And then, like I said, this can be for anything. We also, honestly, for our Christmas, we keep things really simple for the meal. It has to be something simple that we can just put together. When we lived in the city, we actually would order in food that day. So we didn't have to do anything. Because, my husband loves cooking and I don't mind cooking either. It's just that we cook all the time. So we wanted a break. And now we just, because I don't think anything's open here at Christmas, we just keep things simple. Because we want to be with the kids. We don't want to be in the kitchen. We actually made a beef Wellington one year. And then we spent all the time in the kitchen cooking because you have to chill it and you have to do all this stuff. So eventually we learned from that and we're like, wait a second. let's keep it simple. We can do a beef Wellington when we have more time in the kitchen. I love a good beef Wellington. But anyway, then the kids don't even, okay, my son eats it. But anyway, we try to simplify things so we don't have to spend, all our time and energy away from our kids doing, things that we do like, but not at that time. So hopefully that makes sense. So again, remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. Have you ever planned something down to a T and it was like so perfect and it looks so good on paper? And then something just happened that you're like, that's not what I planned. And then it's like you don't know what to do. Instead, it's like let go of expectations. Like have a plan, have a loose plan. And in our family, we even have some backup plans. So we're going to be going to a parade and like we have plans to do this and this and this. Like go out for supper and like it's like, okay, well, we're going to have a couple backup plans because when we're hungry, things are going to like hit the fan, right? So it's have a plan. And for certain things, if you know your family and you and things like that, then it's having a couple backup plans if you need it. And then being flexible with what happens. When you have a plan and then allow things to flow as they go, it feels so much better. As a planner, personally, I can speak from personal experience that this works so much better. So simplify, let go of expectations, and allow things to flow. Still have a plan if you want, but allow it to flow. And last but not least, talk to somebody, like a professional. If you're if any time of year, but over December and January and February, things can feel really dark, especially like in the northern hemisphere where we are, it's dark a lot. And here it's rainy. We do see the sun a fair amount, but still we see rain a lot too. If you're feeling burnt out and it's becoming overwhelming, consider seeking support from a mental health professional or a coach, and they can provide you with strategies tailored to your needs personally. This is a podcast episode, so I'm just sharing my own personal ups and downs, tips and tricks, and things that I've learned over the years. And I am an empowerment coach, so I do work with emotions. But I'm also talking about therapists and things like that. If your emotions or even they get tied to the environment, right? Like, so things can be dark and then we can feel really down and blue. So if you're feeling that, it's totally okay to feel that. But I encourage you not to go it alone. Talk to somebody. Reach out for support. There's a lot of things online that you can book and do. The holiday season should be a time of joy and connection, not stress and exhaustion. By implementing these tips, you can enjoy the festivities while maintaining your well-being. Remember, it's okay to prioritize yourself during this busy time. And in fact, people around you will benefit from it as well. Because if you're burned out and exhausted, they're going to feel that too. So take time for you this holiday season so you can really fully enjoy it and look back and say, that was an amazing holiday, instead of, wow, now I need a vacation. I hope this episode has helped and that you feel more peace, joy, and love this holiday season, and that you feel more calm and more like yourself and just enjoying life more. If you found this episode helpful, please share the love and let others know about this. Also, you can go over to my website, jodymisiak.com, where you'll find more free tools and resources. Thank you again for being here. I am so grateful for you. Happy holidays. Take care of you. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.